Hey folks, we are live. How is everyone today? We're back. We're going to show off some development of Sup Nerds, says Garrett. Better say hello to a few people. Hey Boo, or Boingu, depending on what you want to call yourself. Hey Jaral, hey Lorondol, Zero Scale, welcome.
I think his name is Boingu.
And there's this Max Loaf character who's in the chat as well. I don't know if I trust him.
Nah, man, you don't want to.
But today, it's going to be a nice easy day for me, actually. I think this has worked out well. This is a 200 IQ stream, because I really don't have to do anything.
So happy about that, aren't you?
I really am. What we're primarily going to be doing, I'm actually going to go to your screen now, Max, so be aware.
I'll hide all the non-suitable for work things.
Excellent. Hey, Draconian, how are you, my man? So, what we're going to be doing today, or, well, what we're going to be watching Max do, is he's going to be putting a new, well, 3 new ships, I think you suggested?
Let's see. Well, one for sure. The second one is also pretty sure that we're going to get that done, but the third one is a maybe.
Should probably turn the music down a little bit, because I can't hear you as well as I want to. There we are.
Isn't that a good thing to begin with?
Well, you'd think that, wouldn't you? But I think the audience need to know what's going down. Max himself is very not safe for work. Agreed.
I might tab back and forth to the chat so I can also read some of the questions, by the way.
That's cool. If any questions get relayed, of course, I'll be sparking up and letting you know. So don't worry too hard.
The ships we're going to be adding today are all
hey Vegeta, how are you?
Are all by one of our amazing artists.
Did I watch Rick and Morty for that IQ? No, I didn't. I really don't like Rick and Morty. I know you do, don't you, Max?
That's all right.
But
wouldn't go nuts for it. Let's keep it like that.
Based on these visuals, chat, what kind of ship would you suggest that this likely is? Okay, too much zooming. It's hurting my brain. No!
Anyone got a guess of which ship this is?
Yeah, take a guess of which. It doesn't. We don't need to know which ship, but which race do you think this ship would belong to in the context of the time period?
We definitely want. I'm sorry.
Hmm?
They definitely need to guess which ship this is.
Lorondel says it looks reptilian.
Well, that's wrong.
Zero says it looks like a Xindi ship material. Ooh.
Closer.
Draconian says Xindi. Jaral says Xindi. Which Xindi specifically are we thinking, folks? You're right about the Xindi, but what do you think? It isn't reptilian, but you were pretty much on the money when it comes to Xindi, guys, and that includes
well, yeah,
Lorondel.
Xindi, yeah, but reptilian's not even close.
Reptilian's a bit browner.
A bit, and it's a bit more scaly.
Xindi aquatic says 0 scale. I think he wins the prize there.
0 scale, you're up. All right, but which?
We've already got the battleship in. So this isn't the Xindi aquatic battleship. And of course, you don't get the characteristic. This texture hasn't got the characteristic domes on, which is their kind of like living habitats.
You know, I've actually found a way to see the chat. I'm looking at the chat on my phone.
Oh my! You guys are right. It is an aquatic ship. This is a Xindi aquatic frigate.
Ding ding ding!
So well done, folks.
Now, this ship has already been prepped, so all I need to do is just port it. Just gonna port that mesh using the nice conversion tool. I already plopped the textures in the game. Now let's slap the mesh in there.
Okay.
Aquatic frigate. Let's copy paste that and call it aquatic frigate shield.
Excellent. So what you're doing here, just to give everybody an explanation, is you already have a mesh for the aquatic frigate, and now you're making a shield mesh for the aquatic frigate because it's going to have hull hugging shields.
It's just going to have an invisible shield because the Xindi ships didn't have visible shields, but we knew they had shields. What I'm also doing is, if you look at this, I'm going to edit this section, and I'm going to add 100 to each of the values. And the reason for that is so that their bounding boxes are a bit bigger and they don't collide as much.
Makes good sense. So what he's doing with the shield is he's making it very slightly larger than the actual body of the hull.
No, I'm not on this one.
Looked like you were.
Have a visible shield.
You're adding 100 though.
But that is for the regular mesh, just the collision radius.
Oh my.
So when ships fly against each other, it's like they bump into an invisible wall, so they slide off each other a bit better.
That's actually Max's Discord notifications. Mine are okay, folks. Look, I'll show you.
Yeah, that's too many people.
Actually, I've got 9 in mine as well, but it's not flashing at all. I haven't got any notifications.
It's because let me just put myself to. How do I do that again? Busy.
Next.
Right, so now this is a frigate, so let's copy a Federation frigate. Frigate, where are you? Paste.
Zero Scale says, do we even get to play as Xindi? I'm sad if we don't. It's not one of the races we have planned for this release now.
Zin frigate 2. All this has is a beam.
They're questioning if this ship can be distracted by fish food. I think one of the reasons that I'm the size and shape that I am is because I've been distracted by Ben and Jerry's fish food on one too many occasions.
I can't even. Now let's go to these in
Cryptic Streams. You are always in. Remember, folks, if you want notifications whenever we go live and or whenever we release a video, click the little bell-looking thing on YouTube, and it will tell you. Okay, the Draconian's just he's spouting all the letters he knows. RPMSL. That sounds to me.
Who's cryptic streams?
Cryptic. He's a magnificent individual. So why is the title A Ship Is Born? Well, because we're making a ship at the moment.
One of the ones we're going to add. So let's see now. This needs just the visuals of the Xindi torpedo.
Okay.
Blue
Have you already done the bits and bobs where you
On this ship, yes, I've done all the bits.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll do a mesh thingy-majiggy a little bit later.
Exactly, it's the next one.
One thing that might be nice, Max, and I don't know if you're able to, can you change the quality that you're sending to me?
I think it's already at the maximum. How do I do that? Ah!
Sparacan video!
Yeah, so I need nitro for that.
Oh, okay. No, not a problem.
Sorry, guys. You're going to have to do with some 720. Now let's go.
Felk is asking about Bane's YouTube channel. You notice that Bane's YouTube channel says it no longer exists. Bane had to bow out of doing YouTube, unfortunately. He's got a lot of real life responsibilities that he's been thinking about lately, and he really wants to spend more time with his family. So he's decided to not continue with YouTube. I don't know if that's a forever thing. We've talked about it, and he says at least at the moment he can't dedicate the time to YouTube because it would be at the cost of his family, and he simply doesn't want to do that. Cryptic says, "I am magnificent." Not to be self-centered, but I am.
Then frigate 2. Now it's added to the entity manifest. Let's copy the string 738.
And the description. Don't you do this to me.
Now, I need to figure out...
I'm so mad.
Frigates. Mobuli. Okay, that's what they're called in Stowe.
We don't want to call it the same thing as in Stowe, though, do we?
Don't have a name for it yet, so it might as well.
All right, we'll put that in as a temp.
So that's the name. Got the weapons.
Hey, Mark Redshirt Gaming, how's things?
Now let's get it to spawn in the map, shall we, gentlemen? Let's go to Galaxy Scenario Def. Galaxy Scenario Def. I mean, that's got to be the shortest. So
Centurion, who I think is cryptic, in fact, he thinks we should name it Temp.
It's in place one. Let's see. The ships themselves are stored again. Ah, there they are.
Redshirt thinks we should name it Betty.
I do like that. I mean, we do take some name inspiration from Stowe. For example, we have the Alachi in the game, and they are the same. Did I do that?
I will do, Felkerim. I absolutely will do. And I'm sure you'll probably see him occasionally in some of my videos. I mean, just because he's not doing YouTube doesn't mean he's stopped gaming, and Bane and I do play games together on a regular basis, so I'm sure you'll see him. Let's see, so what you're doing now
I'm adding it to the spawn list, to where it will spawn in the map. We've got a Xindi placeholder, Suliban placeholder, Ferengi placeholder, Tholian placeholder, Noskin light, and Light default. So we've got some stuff, but I think that should do it. Library, not City Skylines.
Well, you're Captain Psy on Twitch, aren't you? That's the one. Centurion is a different... In fact, Centurion is Centurion on YouTube as well.
Alright, gents, let's have a look.
See how this looks?
I think we might also have a chance to look at some of Hobbs' latest work, don't we?
Oh yes, he has pushed some changes lately. He wanted to push more... incidentally, guys, I should say that we wanted to have Hobbs with us this evening. Hobbs is one of our other modelers and artists.
But
Hobbs...
no, he had to get a fucking leak in his house, and his bathroom had to flood, and his living room had to flood because of, you know.
Odysseus, oh nice. Kratos, nice.
Right, so this is all work in progress still.
Ooh, here we go. Got a good question here.
Not in yet. Thought he did that.
Bwingo is asking, will the Xindi weapon be a thing? All remnants of the Xindi weapon?
I can neither confirm or deny that the Xindi weapon will appear in any way, shape, or form at this time.
There you go. I hope you're satisfied with that answer. Those little buttons that you were just pressing, they're new ones.
Yeah, they're new. He hasn't pushed some of the race stuff.
No. Well, as I say, Hobbs was going to be doing some UI work with us tonight, so we could have shown some of that off. But unfortunately, his bathroom has sprung a leak, so he's having to deal with that.
And
he can't avoid it.
From the way he described it, it wasn't a particularly small leak either.
Yeah, he said, water everywhere, gonna die." He didn't say gonna die. My laptop is an i3 2014 plate of mashed potatoes. This will work on it.
To be fair, if mashed potatoes these days can run an i3, I'm impressed.
Redshirt, this will run on it. I used to have an i3 laptop when I was modding Sins of a Solar Empire. When I started with our team, Max, I was running a terrible i3 laptop, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were running a potato.
But it worked. We were able to mod. We were able to play extended matches during some of our playtesting. So
no, Cryptic, we will not give you the answer.
Adwen. Oh, that's a lovely name. Everyone's coming up with...
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like a watery, whaley name. I mean, if we name it your mum, it might...
I'll have you know that my mother weighs 6 stone wet through. She's like the antithesis of me.
Also, some updated planetary icons with slightly... You know. So let's see if we actually got some Xindi in this map, shall we?
Sure we will.
Yes we do. These also actually are easy to spot because they have the icon. Have a look at that, folks.
That's really nice. Incidentally, this is some of... is this one of Neff's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Undying Nephilim is one of our awesome modelers.
I mean, I still love how this one turned out as well.
Everyone's suggesting that he's on the aquatic ship. Hobbs.
Well, that's not true. None of these have sprung a leak.
Oh, that bit where the dome breaks and all the water leaks out in ENT. So good. Jaws. Name it Jaws. Thanatos. Oh, no spoilers for that, by the way. I haven't seen it yet.
Let's make sure that these Xindi get lost, shall we?
Get what's coming to them.
See, that's a reptilian, folks.
That's a reptilian. Have we got any of the insectoid ones?
Yes, we do. There's a bit, you know, they're getting harassed a bit by some connies, but there's the
Tellarite.
No, that wasn't the Tellarite. That was the arboreal. There's one of the But I love the pathfinding sometimes in Sins.
I'd just like to confirm, folks, that you can't get this many Connies in game unless you're running dev mode. You'll only get one. Sorry to say.
Some slightly updated Connie textures.
Hmm. I love that, them passing each other. That was cool. Oh, Connie's in formation, baby.
It's another ship.
That's one of the mammalian vessels, isn't it? The one
This is an extended sector design as well.
I think we've got the vast majority of them. Ah, there you go. There's the insectoid. Oh, that's breaking the bounding boxes. I don't like that.
What, where?
Right-hand side in the description pane.
Oh.
I'll see what I can do
Oh,
about
and
that.
the race name is on top of it.
I'll have a play with that at some point. Put that in the list of things for Gold to do. In fact,
No, these explosions are not replaced either.
I'll do that for myself. Where is it? It broke to Electric Boogaloo.
It broke. Yeah, that's the channel. What we've got, by the way, what we've named our plug channel. Of course, the ships we want to see in action. And of course, we've got a case of the lovely Infinite Chase.
There you go. Gold needs to fix the info card window. Shiitake mushrooms are everywhere. Let's go back to this. So how do you play in dev mode? Well, you've got two particular applications, I suppose, executables. Usually you'd be clicking on the normal one, but you can switch to dev mode. In fact, that's something I might be able to show. Oh, God. I might be able to show you. Let's just minimize here. If we go to Steam... Go to Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. If I press play, it should go into the launcher window. And from there you can choose whether you want to be on dev mode. I can't remember how, mind. You go to settings.
Thank you, Cryptic, for that comment. Most of the Xindi here are Nef's work. Actually, the only one that I did was the Reptilian, so...
I remember how you check. Oh. There you go. So if you click on the little down pointy.
Oh, look, there we go. They're going into action.
I'm just showing the audience. I'm just showing the audience a little bit of something, Max, so they can't see what you're doing at them.
Well, you know, these aquatic ships are going to die in a second, so.
So there you go. That's how you use the Dev XE. Do bear in mind that the Dev XE, it's got a different, it's got a different mod folder. It's Rebellion 1.85 Dev. So you would need to put a copy of the mod into the folder in order to work. Centurion says, good to know. Just so a friend of mine can get his Connie fix. Anybody who wants to may add me on Steam. I do have a very, very full friends list. I periodically try and clear it out of people who haven't been online for a bit. You may find that I don't accept your requests for a little while. What I tend to try and do is if people haven't been online for about a month or so, then I might remove them. We just need your premium.
Yeah, there it is.
I haven't played either of those games yet, Boingu. I plan to. That's looking good, man. Ooh, very nice.
It's not doing too well.
Well, it's not gonna. Doesn't have any torpedoes at all, this one.
It does. It has It's not its beams that you're seeing. It's the Connie's beams firing at it. See, there you go. It fired a torpedo.
Hey, Admiral Alexander, how are you, my friend?
Boom! Impact.
Sebulba. Cryptic, you want to be spamming the hybrids. One cheeky little thing that you can do, folks, is if you want an overwhelmingly awesome fleet, you can put your save into the dev mode, spam a load of things that you want, save it again, and then move your save back over into the standard single player games. Just saying.
I don't know if you ever added. Did you ever do this? I doubt you did.
What is it you want from me?
Of course you didn't.
What?
I made the bloody ship pictures for all the ships, didn't I? And I pushed those. You haven't implemented them. I asked you to do that.
I ain't got around to it.
Now only the Yorktown has got its pretty.
Yeah, we'll show off the Yorktown one again because people probably don't know what you're talking about. If you click on the Yorktown.
Oh, there it is. Fine.
Yeah, so that thing at the bottom left-hand corner there that shows what the Yorktown is good against. Max has made that for all of the Fed ships. I just haven't implemented it yet because I'm a cretin.
Yes, you are.
That's how Gul cheats. Yeah. Why is your Spotify in French? Asks Cryptic.
It is not in French.
I knew that would enrage you. It's in Dutch, and it's because Max is Dutch.
To you British people, it's me being foreign.
It is, and it's not your fault. But as soon as Brexit hits, you're gonna have to start speaking English full time. That's how it works, right? Europe just has to do what we want when Brexit happens. Yeah. Anyway, we should probably stop that line of questioning, otherwise things are going to get on PC.
The last time I started chuckling that much is when I saw Theresa May's face. So.
Oh God, I know. She can't have the way she looks, but bloody hell.
Yeah, she can. There's such a thing called corrective surgery. And yes, Boo, I do love Dutch ovens.
Centurion says he can't emphasise enough how much he enjoys those little info cards on the left. So the pictures, they would be.
Yeah, I might as well
hey,
show
Jonathan Posson, how you doing, my man?
Let me quickly grab the texture sheet. AOTF gold textures. No, that's not it.
Boo or Bwingu would like to know whether you enjoy Dutch ovens.
I already just replied. Yes, I do love Dutch ovens. It's nice and warm. It's good for in the winter.
Oh, and Darth Nictor says, Theresa May.
Oh, well, I knew there was something wrong with the texture.
Seems to be the matter pressures.
I made a mistake, so that's going to be fixed in the next. AOTF should be. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Well, what I noticed was that the outer layers were kind of white. I left lines alpha on, so you get this really white round instead of the.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if you look, gents, we've got it for Yorktown, Ares, Asia, and each also. What we've changed, we used to have like a little Starfleet emblem here. We changed that to the ship icon, so it's easier to spot on the map, so you know what
yeah, and that'll give you a much better understanding of the each ship icon. Now, I know there were some mixed feelings about ship icons in STA3 of this variety, but I think because we've spent a bit more time differentiating these icons, they should be instantly recognisable to different classes of ships. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Just to answer Jenna Smith's question, Jenna will only have one Titan, so big ship constitution for each player.
Mm-hmm. So you're only going to get the one, Connie, I'm afraid.
I still need to add that on this sheet as well. Of course, there's the alpha channel here, which shows how bright everything will be shown.
What am I answering, Zero? I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
Zero, creep.
Red Shirt says, Kelvin, hello, lovely.
Hello. Right.
Crossfield, yeah, we've got Crossfields. There's no you. What? What is this?
I forgot I had this.
What is this?
It's Weekend at Kivans.
Quack.
I hate Ferengi.
Go on, we're modding.
Just like, by the way, important for somebody's stream. This is my face when somebody asks about the AOTF release date.
It is your face. Anybody asks about.
Uh,
No, not the angry gif. Not the angry gif.
which turns into.
No. For God's sake.
No, not Xindi.
Oh my lord.
At Mark, the Yorktown is your starting capital ship.
It is, yeah.
Crossfield's actually one of the latest ships you unlock.
It's good. Very good support ship. I think you'll appreciate having her in the fleet.
Oh, the YouTube stream's just caught up to the weekend at Keevan's moment.
We're very, very lucky, Zero. We've got a lot of excellent modelers working with the team. I think we've always been lucky in that regard, because we've always had Max, of course, being the project lead, and we've also had many other really, really good modelers help out the team. Even people who weren't necessarily a part of the team. I think some people have donated models.
Shall we give them a preview of the Romulan Titan?
Of the Romulan Titan? People have been asking about the Romulan Titan, haven't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, Orion posted that really lovely picture he took.
He did. Yeah. In fact, I better show that on my screen.
Yeah, this quality allows my 3ds Max to start up.
So this is just for the guys watching the stream, of course. But a little bit earlier on, somewhere in this chat. It's in the AOTF chat, is it?
Yeah, in general. By the way, Cryptic, you're not going to ask why he has so many GIFs? Because memes, my brother.
Here we go. The original. Get a full-size one.
Jeddah Smith, the NX is not the starting ship. It is actually the Scout, which is the SS Conestoga type. And from there on, you move on to the Jupiter and Neptune class, which are like the half saucer. And from that point, I think the NX is one of the earliest ships you do unlock. But you actually begin pre-NX.
Yep, that's the plan. Guys of Earth had like 3 ships. Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cryptic streams do work for Cryptic Studios. Says Saval.
Is it not in general? Was that in?
I've got it. I've got it being shown at the moment. So this is the Romulan Titan. And yes, indeed, you're quite right, Overseer. It's the TOS Bird of Prey. That's the only preview you're going to get of it for the time being. But Orion will be showing you more over on the AOTF page as we move forward. So I think that's going to be really good. That's a nice ship, says Darknectar. I think he means ship.
What happened to your Horus type? What do you mean Horus type 0 skill? Oh, the Horus type. I think that's already in game. I can't remember if we named it the Horus. We did have that naming convention, didn't we? I think we did call it Horus in the end.
Red Balls of Death inbound.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gonna have a quick look at the chat, make sure I don't miss anything.
No, Mark, because just as a question, wouldn't it be more lore friendly to have NX class Falcons, Tellarite, and Andorian ships? You can get those ships, but not through building.
Yeah, there are ways to get those kind of. Is there going to be a Borg event? No, that's not our intent. I don't think we intend to have any Borg events. If I'm right, Maxi Mouse.
No, we don't.
But Vulcan, Tellarite, and Andorian ships do exist in the mod. You can't build them directly. As the United Earth / Federation. But...
Grey and Blair, will the Klingons get a bird of prey similar to the JJ construct? No, we won't be venturing into that aesthetic style. We'll be working more towards to our own style. We've got.
I think it might be fair to say that our Axe and our style ships are moving towards that style, but they're not quite there. They're kind of a happy halfway house, aren't they, between the JJ style and the traditional style?
No, it's way more to the traditional style. It's between Ent and the traditional style, to be fair, really. Oh, this is the Infinities model, which shows that we have a lot more Xindi ships than we. Axanar Revival. That's what the project was originally called.
I don't know if Mako individually had ships, because Mako were...
The Franklin will make an appearance, by the way. Let's be fair about that one.
Yeah, the Franklin is one, but I don't know if it was a Mako ship. It probably had Makos on it.
Right, so what I've got here is the Mazarite ship mesh from Enterprise. We did some changes on the design because it was a little too obvious where it was built from.
Yeah, the Mazarite ship. In fact, if you
let's get a picture of the
yeah, let's get a picture of the original and see if people can recognise the bits of it.
So if we go to the Mazarite starship here,
all right, folks.
Pinterest.
We given.
X asterisk. There we go. Starship gallery. Other aliens of the 22nd century, and it should be right about there and there. Let's have a look at the Mazarite ship. Now, from this angle, I mean, you can tell what this is. Can't you, people in the chat? Can you not tell what that is?
Centurion already says, spine of the Dideridex.
Yes, it is.
And he's entirely correct. Let's see if we can see a little bit more of it, see if people can recognise more features.
From this angle, you can't tell much, can you? Really,
no, I don't think so.
No, but then you get to the top view, and the shape, it just becomes a bit familiar, doesn't it? And that looks pretty familiar as well. Wait a minute, isn't that the head of a Marquis Raider? It is.
The name Franklin class is canon. But the style of the Franklin, not canon, I'm afraid. No, that was made entirely for the new film. So,
also, what some people might notice is if you look at these two sections here, these are actually Intrepid class nacelle pylons, where there's this where the nacelle would connect. That's the impulse engine, and this is a grill of a bit of prey. So yes, it's actually a digital kit bash. So we did some changes to the design where it's slightly different, just to make it seem a bit more unique. Gonna do a bit of tweaking on the model just to make it look slightly nicer.
This is another amazing model made by Neff, isn't it?
Undying Nephilim, yes. Collapse into a single object because rid of the groups. Let's grow this bastard. It's easy to work with. Do an editable poly.
Again, Jenna, because that's the JJ universe, it doesn't necessarily translate into
what we want.
Into our universe, or into the Prime universe for that matter. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Mako independently operated ships. I wouldn't assume that they did, aside from possibly troop transports, of which the Franklin patently wasn't. It wasn't a troop transport, it was an exploration vessel. So it doesn't stand to reason for me, but as I say, I mean, in the JJ universe, they can kind of do their thing, can't they? Will the Sulaban get a cloak, as they cheated and had 28th century help?
No, they won't.
And Mark says, Neff is a god. His work rate is phenomenal, guys.
I would use the word clinically insane, but...
Yeah, he can pump out ships faster than Max can put them in the game when he wants to.
Yes, I have. I actually do have multiple ships of his waiting at the moment to be getting him. So actually do needs a bit of tweaking. There's some issues here with triangulation. That actually will be just one side.
So, any ship needs to be all the polys. Well, not the polys, but
smoothing groups.
Yes, they all need to be able to form triangles. So they all need an appropriate number of faces, if you like, to be able to form triangles within them.
Yeah, but there's also some other stuff that I need to do. For example, if you look at the wireframe of this section, you see here that it's actually like a little square. Now, if we look here, I'm gonna just re-smooth that. It'll look a lot better.
Okay.
Look at that. There you go. Now it actually looks proper.
Very nice.
I think I might actually do it with this.
Max is also faffing with the smoothing groups in order to ensure that the ship looks as nice as it could do.
That's because the downside is we're porting it from a bunch of different programs, and if we do that, then it's things like this kind of information usually gets a bit jumbledy-mumbled. So a little bit fixing by hand. There we go. That's most of it done.
Will we have JJ style pulse phasers? Asks Mark. Not directly. We do have some pulse phasers, though, don't we?
No. Not JJ style.
Not JJ style, but we do have we've got little blue pulse phasers, which are
Yeah, but they're not what he means. Not the not.
no, not the JJ style ones. No. What's wrong with that bit? Okay, you got it.
There we go. Better now. And I think that's correct.
As indeed. Simon Pegg thinks the universes are completely separate, says no you.
They are.
That's a lot of people think that the universes start out consistent with one another, if you like, and then they diverge at a certain point. I think both viewpoints have merit. I'm not going to choose.
Well, I mean, it's canon that the timelines diverge at the moment of Nero arriving.
Yeah. But whether that's definitively
it is said
question.
By
the... what I mean is the technology already appears to be different, doesn't it? So
yeah, somewhat,
somewhat debatable. I don't think. I mean, as much as JJ Trek wouldn't necessarily be my first choice, I think I do have to give it props for making Star Trek accessible to a newer audience. Not a lot of people talk about that, like in the Trek community, because they get all on their high horse about things like JJ Trek, about Discovery, about stuff like that. But I do think both of these, the complaints that the old school Trek community have, yeah, they're understandable complaints. But I do think it's been useful in the regard that it's made Trek accessible to a new and arguably larger community overall.
I think that's a weak reason to alienate a big fan section of your old fan.
Oh, we've still been watching it though, haven't we? So we're not alienated entirely.
It doesn't feel like Trek, does it? Alright, I think that's
not to me. I have a suspicion that Series 2 of Discovery is going to be a little bit more like traditional Trek. I think they've set themselves up for a more episodic feel. But we'll see. We will see. It does very much remain to be seen, doesn't it? Sorry, folks. I've been too busy talking to Max to actually pay as much attention as I wanted to the chat. Let's take a look. Lorondel? No. Will you play a Star Wars version of Star Trek Online if it came out? I wouldn't say no. It could be argued that SWTOR is exactly that. It's a Star Wars based MMO. Although I'd like something that was probably post Endor. I think that would be fun. But again, that's Legends, and it's not necessarily canon anymore, is it?
SWTOR is like smack bang in the middle of could be, maybe, I don't know.
We do have the Columbia refit, and then we've also got the
Endeavour refit.
The Endeavour refit. Which was never seen on screen. Sad.
I know. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah.
Lorondel says they quite like Discovery. I think it came into its own a little bit towards the end.
I felt like it was a bit of an inconsistent and incoherent mess.
It was. I mean, the first few episodes I didn't like at all. And then there was that one episode with Mudd, where he invades the ship and he's got that
travel.
little...
That was a pretty good one.
That was a good episode, a genuinely good episode. But I do feel like the storytelling got a little bit better in the later episodes of the series.
Let's see. Let's save this as a Maz destroyer, because it was roughly the size of the NX. I actually looked this up before we started the stream. I went and watched the episode for a second and figured out what size it was. So I've got the textures here. Now, one thing I am going to do is, because Neff renders his AO bakes in, what is it, Maya he models in?
He does, yeah, he models in Maya.
And the 3ds Max...
doesn't like it.
No, they're a bit... the big difference is his backgrounds are rendered as black, which can give some creases, especially along mirrored edges.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I just re-render the AO, which is a minor thing.
Savol says, if SWTOR had the space gameplay of Star Trek Online, yeah.
Then it wouldn't be Star Trek. Then it wouldn't be SWTOR.
Well, what he's effectively saying is he prefers the SWTOR ground combat system, but the STO space combat system.
The thing is, though, STO still has the same ground combat system. It's just STO is a lot more fast-paced. STO still has a tab targeting if you want it.
I've got to say, I mean, I do prefer SWTOR for ground combat. Much.
It's smoother. It's a lot smoother. So let's just render this. So what I've done here is, if you look, I've set these samples to 75, so it's a bit smoother. I'm not going to render it to a target slot, and this is the BC Bridge Commander thing. We didn't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bridge Commander.
Mazarite, Maz Destroyer, new AO, Tagger.
Hey Bismarck, how you doing, my man?
Hey Bismarck. I'm just going to render that, so that's just going to be very boring to look at. It's going to go like.
Actually, they did a fairly visually, at least. They've done a good job of casting Pike. Talking about disco.
Yes, yes, they have. I'll agree with that.
Star Wars under a different name to avoid copyright law. Astro conflict, oppressive regime.
It'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it?
Are we getting plasma cannons before we get phase cannons?
Nope. Start out with phase cannons.
Start out with phase cannons, and we move on to Andorian phases.
Yeah, or phases, just TOS phasers, really.
Yeah, effectively.
But there's a reason for that. Is there game engine limitations? If we could, I would have done it.
Ethan, thank you very much. You will see another one fairly soon. I've taken a few days off last week with regards to producing the Surviving Mars series, but I'll get back on that during the course of the week this week, and you'll probably see a couple of them.
No, just to respond to your questions, what do you think of the DSC's imagined pre-TOS Connie? I like it, but it's a bit flat. I think it's just if they raised it a bit more than a bit taller neck, a bit.
Yeah, you're talking about the length of the neck and the height of the nacelles as well, aren't you?
No, just the height of the neck and the height of the pylons. If that was a bit taller, it would be perfect. I think they did a pretty good job, and I didn't expect them to stay true to the original. And if they did, they would have gotten my praise. But obviously,
I think it required a textural change because honestly, you can bash me all you like, audience, but the TOS Connie, as it was by itself, wasn't a fantastically textured. Well, you can't even call it textured, painted model. It didn't look amazing because the simple fact of the matter is, TOS, particularly when it came out, didn't have a very big budget. People expected it, or at least some people, particularly the production, expected it to fail. They really thought it wasn't going to succeed because it had a lot of odd ideas, which were very modern at the time. So I don't think they perhaps put as much time and effort into the ship itself as they did actually set dressing internally.
And of course the stories, which got a lot more.
KOTOR is wonderful, Bismarck. KOTOR and KOTOR 2 were the games of my childhood, probably plus. There were a couple of other games that I really enjoyed as well. I like Jade Empire. Thought that was really good. And when I was a kid, I played a lot of Jagged Alliance and Jagged Alliance 2 as well. They were like my hot games when I was a kid. I thought they were amazing. I think I was what you might describe as it's BioWare that made all of those games, isn't it? The Jade Empire. I was definitely a BioWare bitch when I was a kid. A little bit less so now. I don't appreciate them as much as I used to.
Something Mass Effect Andromeda.
It wasn't a bad game. It just didn't live up to.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't. From an empirical perspective, it wasn't bad. It was. It really was. It was fine.
Did you not see the facial animations? I'm sorry, my face is tired.
Yeah, that got fixed ultimately. And also, that doesn't make the storyline poor. Poor animations don't necessarily make a storyline poor. Storyline wasn't amazing either, and that was really the core problem. It was a very average storyline. What's the Walker class?
That's the Shenzo.
Yes, that's not in there. I argued for it. Max refused.
There's a reason we refuse to have it in is because we've got the Crossfield as the Discovery class type, whatever you want to call it. And then to have the Walker class, it would the role it would take, it would replace the Ares class, and that's not something I wanted to do.
As I say, the internal set dressing probably cost quite a lot, but the externals of the ship didn't.
Just render a quick UV.
Bringu says, I would totally prefer the Walker class to the Crossfield. Unfortunately, Bringu, like me, you don't get a choice.
Also, the Crossfield does have more standing in canon.
That's true.
Because the Crossfield, or at least what the Crossfield was based off of, was seen in Star Trek 3 in the space dock.
God, if they'd only shown the complete Earth-Romulan war. Well,
Oh, yeah, please.
yeah, that would be amazing. It would genuinely be amazing.
No, I just need... That is...
Pretty much, Wingo. Yeah, you're pretty much right there. About the external design of the ship. Put all the disco ships in there. We've got one or two. Or one or two reimaginings of. So what are you doing now, Max?
Just doing a quick fix on the... bit of a texture thingy.
Ah, a bit of a texture-y thingy. My favourite Discovery universe ship design is the Walker. I think it's very, very attractive. I might be tempted to change the nacelles a little bit, but aside from that, I really like it. And contrary to a lot of people's opinions, I really love the underslung bridge. I think that's fantastic. Having that bridge underneath is great, and I even surprisingly don't object to the glass windows at the front.
I do object. I do personally object to that, but
I know you do.
doing just changing this about because it's giving some problems. The actual shape of the mesh. Make a new layer there.
Anders says the Walker class with a few adjustments would look great as a post-Voyager ship. That's actually something that's been discussed quite a lot with our team. We think the aesthetic of Discovery seems to be very, very futuristic. Bubbles? No bubbles? So, what segment are you changing? Can you show us on the model?
I will in a second. It's almost done. So now that it actually lines up to the shape of the ship, it didn't entirely before.
Okay, I see.
It went across this bit here, so...
Ah, I see. Very nice indeed.
Just use a slightly different pattern one looks a bit better. I have a bunch of other nice ones that I made. Yeah, I think that one should be a bit more... That's a bit better.
No, Savol, the worker class, sadly, is not going to be an AOTF. I like it a lot, but it's we've already got a full Federation listing now.
And we don't want to become a typical Federation-only mod.
Yeah, that tends to be something that a lot of, not even just mods, but games are guilty of. Because there's so much source material out there for the Federation, you tend to find that a lot of resources are ploughed into the Federation. Not necessarily to the exclusion of other things, but other things are just lagging behind in so many ways. Just because the Federation's got more to work with. Oh god.
Right.
I've made a terrible mistake. Oh, there we go, it's fine. I pressed a button on my screen and the whole thing got covered up with, would you like to change the size of your picture? Oh!
Now I've got the mesh ready. Let's start separating it into pieces for export.
Brinker says, are the Folians going to be in the mod? One or two
Yes.
classes, yes.
Already are.
But just as neutrals, nothing bizarre.
Also, always fun to encounter them. Something.
The Cardenas class was cool. We do have a version of that.
Yeah, we have, because the thing is, like, I was thinking of filling that with the Walker class, but it looked way too similar to the Ares class, and I wanted to give the ship, the main cruiser, something unique in shape-wise. So the Cardenas was, something that was a nice in the middle there kind of deal.
Max makes models in the Klingon way. He stabs the keyboard until something glorious happens.
Nah, I'm not. Maybe my old keyboard, but not this beautiful keyboard. No, beautiful keyboard. Just to anyone who's curious, it's a Logitech. What's the number again? G413.
Max just saying he loved the full race Vulcan mod for Armada 2.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where the models just weren't up to spec. Ooh.
I suppose for the time they probably were. Because games can do more now. People expect more.
That's definitely true. Right. Export to for bucks.
I'm not designing any kind of ship at all, Ethan. We're actually watching Max design a ship. Or implement a ship, I should say. This is the Mazarite vessel. Which you see in Enterprise. I can't remember the episode name, do you?
Season 1, episode 23, Fallen Hero. About a Vulcan diplomat that they tried to save from a planet, and then
don't they nick the warp core or something from the Maz?
No, that's a Cerulean ship, which was literally just a reuse or Illyrian ship. Actually, if you Google Mazarite ship, Mazarite starship, which I already did here, you'll find that this picture there it is Illyrian starship, so it was reused.
I thought it was.
So it's the episode where Damar, not Damar, shows up.
Not Mar.
Let's get something up. Bloody commercials. Alright, let's prep the textures. So we've already got the diffuse texture now done. So
Will minor factions like the Xindi from the animated series have a presence as neutrals?
Not in this release. Not in AOTF1 because it doesn't. It's not. It's a timeline thing. Do we already have another minor race with M? No. Destroyer. Color map.
I can tell you, folks, that a lot of neutrals have been postulated.
Yes, we already have a lot, and we do have plans for a few more, but not a crazy amount.
People are talking about like a Stowe timeline mod.
No.
From the looks of things. The Bortask and Scimitar would be Titans for the Klingons and Romulans. Actually, the Bortask, I really like that model.
Ah, so you like having StarCraft chips in your mod?
Jarell says Antares class, is it in it, and is it a freighter or a trade ship?
No and no.
No. No, the Antares is in...
We have a model for it though.
In SDA 3.
No, not that Antares. He means another Antares.
Which Antares is this?
He means this
Show me.
Antares class starship. He means this.
Oh, that bloody thing! Yeah.
We do have a model for that, but it's not
Do
going to
we?
be using AOTF-1. Yes, it was donated to us by Starter Continuum.
Oh, that's nice of them. I love Continuum. So good. If you guys haven't played Continuum and you've got Homeworld Remastered, what are you doing with your lives? Bismarck is doing his usual. Max, when will it be out?
Excuse me, just a second. This!
See what you did? Oh god. We're getting Trek-themed jokes now. What did Picard say to his fiancée? Engage.
That joke is bad, and you should feel bad. Look at this, isn't this an interesting concept for a Vulcan ship, isn't it?
Oh, you showed me this the other day.
Fit right between TOS and TNG something.
Be like one of the last designs, wouldn't it?
Right, Mark Redshirt, it's not the Marquise, it's the Marquis. Please get that right. It annoys the ever-living hell out of me.
The Maquis were originally a French resistance group.
Marquis.
Hmm?
There's an R in difference. In the name.
Same difference.
Actually, Cryptic, when he's having a number 2 in the toilet, that's called a captain's log.
Oh, good gravy. That would be a bad captain's log.
Understood? Yes, you are right indeed. Here's the... Yeah, I need to make a new one. It's function right. Save as Mazarite frigate. Bam.
People are suggesting it would be a good Tellarite design.
I would disagree.
Autocorrect screwed me over. It does. Damn it! Damn you, autocorrect. Oh, that's terrible, Mark. What do you call a ship full of Klingon Catholics? A bird of prey. God. Alright, so what you're doing right now is you are prepping all the textures for in-gameage.
Yes.
And what different textures do you need for each ship?
A color, a data, and a bump map. The
Okay.
data map basically determines what glows, what doesn't glow, and the bump map determines what goes bumpity bump.
Bump folks are... It's almost like a height map, isn't it, in some ways?
It's literally a height map.
There you go, in all the ways. Oh god. Oh, that's so bad. Mark Redshirt Gaming comes in with another one. So when Riker takes a leak, it's a number 1.
I'm trying to come up with horrible jokes, but
I'm liking it, folks. Don't worry.
all right, let's save that. That's pretty much done. Let's flatten the image, filter, map. God, that's the horrible.
And what a height/bump map does, folks, is
It makes it pretty.
Yeah, it artificially generates height. So you can make bits of a ship or bits of a texture look higher than other bits, in spite of the fact that they are in fact not.
Why is that for the 1.85 version? Since it's best to have one word. Most mods are updated for the latest version, to be fair. Sins. Now let's just slap those textures into the game folder already.
Why is it that 1.85 version of Sins works best for mods? It doesn't. You can even if your mods say
folder.
yeah, even if your mods say they're in the 1.85, they're actually not. You could change this folder to say 1.92. I think we're in 1.92 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could change.
They just stopped changing the mod folder number.
Yeah, they realised at some point that they didn't need to change the designation of the mod folder anymore from 1.85 onwards. And since that point, the mod folder has just remained the same because it's easier for, well, effectively for people who want to play mods.
Finally figured it out.
Does Picard read 50 Shades of Earl Grey? I'll tell you what, that book is hot.
3 Klingons walk into a bar. The bar breaks.
Quite good. I like that one.
Let's get that scale right, shall we? Now we're in XSI, which is the actual program where you port to the game.
Prune juice, a warrior's drink.
Yes. I think that makes it roughly the same size as the NX. Volume as well. Captain Janeway, will you join me in your... No, wait, that's a different ship. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh god, that is so bad. What do you call an alien that likes gardening? A horticulturist.
Three Jafar warriors meeting each other at the end of a battle. They look at each other threatening. The serpent's guards' eyes glisten. The Horus guard's beaks glisten. Satesh's nose drips. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my.
Gotta know that one.
Oh my.
Signing material.
Max is now implementing the textures and the
Final
materials
stage.
to the ship.
Wonder where the weapons are gonna go.
Not there.
Oh, I wish he left a little bit more warbird detail. That would have been added after weapon.
I'm hearing a lot of nee from you. What's that? That shouldn't be there. Alright then.
There's coffee in that nebula, indeed.
You'll only go and fix it later.
I hate you. I won't.
You bloody will, and you know you will.
I will not.
In about 6 months' time, you'll be looking at it, and then you're going to get all angry with it, and you'll be like, I have to fix this! Like, about 2 minutes before release. That's usually what happens.
And that'll be fine.
For you. Right, so Max is... this is soft image, isn't it?
Yes.
The student version.
I'm a student of life. Anyone who disagrees with me is a Nazi.
Okay. Looks like we better agree, folks. So what he's now doing...
Are you agreeing yet?
Yes, dear. What Max is now doing is he is placing the weapon ports where they need to be in order to make sure they fire from the right spot. He'll be doing that with ability slots as well.
God.
Oh, God.
What does a Romulan frog use? A croaking device?
Go on, make the model. I want to see it in game.
Also, Mr. Yuna, I'm working on Straker 6, the final frontier.
No, stop looking. Make the model.
Just... Alright, considering we've got the fighter, I might as well add the fighter in here. This looks like a shuttle bay, doesn't it?
Possibly. But let's put this in first. We'll do the fight later.
Yeah, but I need to know if I can just give it a hangar point. Hangar.
Yes, Saval, I have watched that.
Kelva. Where would its torpedoes come out?
What about those lights at the front?
They seem more like a deflector.
And have them being the same port as the other weapons port if you choose to. It looks like it could be multi-purpose.
There we go.
Done. Alright, good stuff.
And I'm going to give it one aft cannon.
Where's that going to come from?
Like this thing. Bubble.
Okay. Bubble butt. Bubble, bubble, bubble butt.
Bubble butt. Bubble, 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 bubble. I like big booty bitches. Booty. Ah. Now the pesky downer about the ship is we never saw it fire in the show.
No, we didn't.
So I'm going to give it yellow pew-pews.
Stands to reason, doesn't it?
Look, Cryptic, there's 3 ways of doing it. It's the right way, the wrong way, and the Janeway. Mind you, using the Janeway does usually give you ending up in the mental hospital. That's done, shaded. Now let's apply some tangents. Cubic.
Is it doing precious?
Oddities. Do with.
So do you want to explain what you're doing with these tangents here?
No.
Maximus.
Making the ship look smooth.
Making the ship... Oh! Look smooth. No, that's not good. How would you say that you know what's wrong?
Smoothing just doesn't look right. If you look now at the color transition, you'll see that it just looks more how it should look. How that is also more of a hard corner, so you'll see there's a bunch here which seem like they should be hard ones, but they're not. So make sure that Doctor music is good, isn't it?
Yes.
Infinite potential, also known as the 11th Doctor's regeneration theme. I'll definitely agree with you there, Cryptic. Star Wars as Death Stars, Star Trek as Janeway, both weapons of mass destruction. But Star Trek also has 7 of 9, weapons of ass destruction. Right, let's freeze that up and let's export. Actually, let's get ability point 4 to 2A. Logical.
This one going to be for?
It's the smoke emitter for damaged chips.
Oh yes.
It export .xsi. Destroyer. Just going to have to rewatch the stream. Just woke up with pizza in my head. It's been a long day. If you got pizza in your head, man, you need to see a doctor. I mean, it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be in your stomach. What have you been doing?
That is quite concerning, Khan. What happened with your day? What went wrong?
Well, he got a pizza stuck in his head. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? Yay, no errors on the mesh. Alright, now we need to make the shield. In this case, save as Destroyer Shield.
Make it bigger.
We're going to make a copy of the mesh, and we're going to just, first what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the, We're going to get rid of some of the stuff. We're going to get rid of the tangent. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of the texture maps, Fong, tangent data. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to modify world boundary points edges, all 0.001 range. Then we're going to freeze the model, form, push.
Oh my.
Ah well, good enough. It's only a shield mesh. Freeze. Gonna get rid of the old mesh. Get rid of all the weapon points. Get property texture Jeff cubic. Destroyer shield.
Oh, Giral, why?
What? What did he say? What did Jarell say?
Something horrific.
And now we're going to copy this to the game. Now the shield doesn't need to have a texture. The rest does. All the textures, of course.
Okay. So he's now making the mesh, which is one step before the entity.
Actually, we've got most things open. We're going to copy this time is Fed Frigate, Fed Cruiser Destroyer, just for copying of the stats. Maz Cruiser. I'm gonna have to go a bit of a step further for this one, actually.
Oh, thank you so much for the cheers, Bismarck. Really nice of you. Oh no. How many ears does Picard have? I don't know, Bismarck. How many ears does Picard have?
There are 2 ears. Zin frigate.
Picard has 3. A right ear, a left ear, and a final front ear.
Oh my god. That's...
Oh, make it so, Bismarck.
I feel violated.
I like that one. I need to write that down. Oh, so I could just confirm to all of my my colleagues at work that I'm an absolute nerd. Oh, stop it. Laughing, it's no good. Go on. Oh, there it is. Right.
Do we have a pulse, a yellow pulse texture yet?
No. No, pulse, no, we don't.
I have a yellow muzzle.
I think that's for the yellow beams.
Fate with yellow beam. I have yellow pulses. Oh well, let's gradient map the hell out of this.
Oh, there we go. That was nice and easy. I think you should have done it, Sam. I think it's important that you explain these things to people. If you don't do, you have only failed yourself. Oh, Cryptic, that was not a good one. Oh my.
What do you say?
Where do Starfleet officers rent cars from Enterprise? Oh no.
That should be it. Just reuse muzzle effect. Particle forge it is.
Doing everything today, aren't we?
Yeah.
By we, I mean you.
Yeah. Green pulse. There we go.
Crazy Falcon says, ooh, I've been trying for a day to make a graphic like that yellow beam for a Tholian web texture.
Ah.
Centurion says, I love seeing particles being made. It's not a side of modding that I see all that often. True.
There we go. Well, this is a simple recolor, so it's not that special, but.
Hello.
Now we need to actually copy the.
So what colour are you going for the torps?
Yellow.
Still yellow. Is that not going to be too similar to the pulses?
Maybe.
Doctor on the Enterprise is the real McCoy. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good. We haven't reused Klingon sounds much.
Oh, Bismarck wants red torpedoes.
Good for him.
Looks like he's not getting them.
Clear weapon pulse impact. We need to change this, don't we? Fireball early needs to change this to random frames, texture animation name.
Oh yeah, there's probably still a few of those to go through, isn't there?
Yeah, look, random explosions. Randomized explosions. Specs. That's better.
Oh, I actually got a recording of you making sounds there.
Oh, shit.
That's one for the maxi pack.
Hit effect name. 2 weapons. Prerequisites. 0. Alright, Mazarite ships. Mazarite. Mazarites.
Oh, good lord, look at him.
Got the Drake. He's got the Lucius Malfoy. Azov. So nobody was ever named. This makes my life so much easier. What do you mean, Saval? Does the torpedo color change with the faction?
No, it doesn't. They're individual to ships, so you could have several different color torpedoes for any given faction. The shield texture, or the shield coloration, that changes the faction, but not the torpedoes. Is the Maxi Pack a feminine product in Europe? Now, the Maxi Pack, I'll see you later, Sanis. You have a good one, man. The Maxi Pack is a mod that I've been threatening to make for years, with just sound effects that have fallen out of Max's mouth as he makes ships.
Right, that's the string. Now, I realize that we have to do another thing, because it's a new random race on the map. We need to copy this, player Adla, and let's call it player Maz neutral.
Okay. So what Max is doing now is he's making, he's effectively creating a race for the Mazarites in order to ensure that it works, because he gets to set the shield color that way.
I just noticed the bug as well.
That. Oh yeah, look at that.
It is it. Now I need to add at the bottom, close to the bottom.
Definitely not going to crash. Red shirts did pretty regularly die. Yeah.
Right, is that the planet bonuses? Right, actually, I'm doing this is the place where I need to be. Oh God, Chris, you know what one of our next steps is, right?
No dear.
Cleaning up the galaxy scenario dev file. Cleaning out stock stuff.
Nah.
Nah, let's just leave it in.
It's not a cruiser destroyer, is it?
I'm sorry.
See?
It is. Right, now we need to make a new...
Change the numbers. Got you, bro.
Make me doubt myself, eh? Yes, it did.
Change the numbers.
I need to make a new template. That would be 6, 7. That's alright.
Built Mazarite the same way?
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. I'm not gonna look. I'd rather.
Damn
crash.
it!
Now let's figure out whether you can always forget. All right. I need to figure out. So now our plan types are up. Which one is used a lot? Yeah, let's put them on class M type 3.
There are a lot of Sulabans, aren't there?
Yes. Well, we've still got the Zerillians to add, which I'll quickly show one of the models of.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're not gonna have time for in this stream. Get it in.
No, but that's this ship, Enterprise. It was rather friendly, so I don't know what kind of weapons to get. It's the one where Trip got pregnant.
Ah, yes.
With the nipple on his wrist. Alright, now let's give it a shifty. It's gonna crash, isn't it?
Oh god.
I just know it's gonna
Oh god. What did I tell you?
Invalid entity def file name. Oh. Get one thing.
Bendigadig.
Just say to me.
Bendigadig. Means fantastic in Welsh.
Didn't see that.
Just watching you try and type.
And I forgot to check that actually as well. shield color.
Okay.
If you ever think that last one is just bad, stop. It's just illegal.
How do you change the background color in Python?
Photoshop is easy to use. Let's go for a bit bigger map.
Mark says, is the Duckerfucker ship gonna have an effect over time for nearby ships where they grow more crew?
Yes.
You've suggested it. I'll make it.
The starship will actually grow an extra nipple.
Also, hi Buggerboom. How you doing, my man? Let's get hot and heavy. Oh god.
God, this stream has become all the puns, hasn't it?
Yeah. Alright, puns. No more puns now. Serious time.
Oh, it's loading. We can have puns in the loading screen.
Maybe I should change all the tips to puns. You reckon I should do that?
Just like tips like, hey you, psst, hey you suck. Still love the croaking device one.
Good thing this game loads so quickly. I do love puns.
I think it heard you.
You just give it a bit of love, sort itself out.
Now I need to find a class M type 3.
People wanted to see Tholians earlier. Can we show that? Can we show this?
Let me first find. Of course, it hasn't spawned. Assuming these are actual web spinners. Well, by the way, folks.
There you go. There's a Tholian.
I have to reload the map. I think.
Maybe it's spelling Mazarite wrong over and over that did it for you.
No. By the way, maybe your pips need to be aligned.
They are aligned. Sadly.
Just reload them. Now, if it didn't work right, it wouldn't load them at all.
Oh, this is new as well, folks. Player setup screen. Please let there be a class F and a class U planet next to each other when I play.
There is no
my.
class U.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Terrell says...
Cardio, isn't it?
No, it's the classic Cardassian game, Cards Against Humanity. Just crap me up.
I thought that was Cards Against Majority.
Oh. Do we have...
there
there they are. They are in game. Let's get them shooting against them. Oh, what's the zoom thing? All good?
That's fine. I was zooming. Yeah.
Should we try it with a different lighting?
I'd rather not because the game's big. Right now. Also, oh, look at those new asteroids.
Nice.
Also, my question to you: do you have Garumba?
Nice. Better than Nausicaan love. Yes, Sam, the Mazarite does have a Romulan spine. You spawn in your tart. Ooh. I think this is one of the outstanding success stories, isn't it, the Marklin?
Oof, I need to change the spawn locations a bit more.
I think it's fine. Just right.
I wish there was collision models now.
We're going in!
Iceberg, right ahead! Seems our new phase cloak is fully operational.
Someone said TOS Akula style destroyer is required.
AOTF 2.0, it's coming. I will guarantee you that the Akula class TOS and the refit is coming. Let's take care of those Mazarites, shall we?
Oh, Cardenas is just like, whee! It's off.
So is the rest. I mean, there's no more enemy ships, so the combat speed, the ship speed is ×6.
Oh, thanks, Bismarck. We've all worked quite hard together on the interface. Still not finished, but we're getting there.
Engage. Enemy ships detected.
That'll be one of Keith's. I quite like that.
I'm entirely happy with it.
What would you seek to change? Maybe the burst count should be a little bit more.
Just delay's alright. The delay between the actual firing between the bursts. Find it in a second. Did it actually save? That's better.
That's a bit too quick now.
So I made 25, and I forgot that it has a back weapon. There we go. That's better, isn't it?
Yeah. And she's getting wrecked. When you're doing the AOTF TMP era, will you be implementing the effect of the boards? Restrictions on various starship designs?
No, I don't think so, because it wouldn't be very fun to play with.
There you go.
Also, in canon, the Kittimer chords haven't really been explored. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it?
Hmm.
Oh, that looked painful.
That was just at the worst possible time, wasn't it? There are certain things that you can mod in game while playing the game. There are other things that you can't, Mark.
Most of the UI stuff has got to...
Yeah, most of the UI stuff makes you restart. Also, if you're making regular changes too fast, the game throws a bit of a wobbly and says, look, you're going to need to restart. There we go, folks. Nice, nice. Some pretty cool music has just kicked in as well. Right, folks. I think that is going to be all we've got time. I hope you...
let's see if we can show some of the new tools that we've got here. Oh yeah, the Alachi is a good one just to show real quick in here. So the new Comet gravity well.
Very nice.
It's an Alachi frigate, and there is the...
Latchy scum, says Centurion.
some Ferengi.
Ah, the Gints, yep. What a bunch of Gints.
Of course, we've already seen all the Xindi. I might as well show them off a bit more.
Oh, lag.
Got the new ones for tonight. That one.
The not Tellarite.
Actually, it was Arconian, then it was Xindi, and then it was Tellarite. Oh, actually, we might as well show that.
Looking at.
When I signed the Pact of Alliance with the Dominion.
Thanks, Corey. Corey subscribed and he asks, Ferengi playable?
Of course.
Always.
So we've got a Sirat class. Look at that nebula in the background there. But then we do have the Tellarite ship.
Good God, what is that?
We have the... I'm going to pause this piece. Good music. I'm going to enjoy that in a second. Then there's, of course, the Dakir.
Hmm?
And the Kumari.
Indeed.
Which all do have unique weapons and effects.
In this particular version of Ages of the Federation, the colony cap is the Yorktown.
Indeed. But yeah, I think that will be a good moment to call it, isn't it?
I think so. So there you go. You've seen 2 new ships arrive in game today. So we've done what we set out to do. I've done precisely what I set out to do by simply watching what Max does. It's been pretty good. So yeah. I hope you've enjoyed. We are doing this every week. In one form or another. Unfortunately, Bane streams, of course, because Bane is no longer doing YouTube. He won't be streaming on the Tuesday, but hopefully I'll be able to kind of twist his arm a little bit and get him on the Wednesday stream to show us a little bit of the abilities and stuff he's making. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.
See you next week, folks.